Hello, and welcome back to another locked in stream for Game Week 11. So I hope you guys are all good and that you've had a good week and everything is going really well for you. As normal, we usually check in on the transfers in and the transfers out for the coming game week right at the start, just to try and help as many of you guys to kind of, I guess, clarify your decisions on whether or not you should be going for these players as well. So with that, the top transfers in this week are Nketiah, Douglas Luiz, Mbeumo, Tsimikas, and He-Chan. Now, a few differentials in there, definitely. I wouldn't be bringing in Nketiah this week personally. That's not to say I don't think he could nab a little something against Newcastle, but Newcastle are a lot better at home. They're a lot tighter, a lot more closed up. I think unless you're going to get Nketiah in for your like a third striker spot, there's nobody I'd want to be selling out for him at the moment, like in terms of a Watkins or a Alvarez or anything like that this week. So I'm kind of assuming that's people with a third striker spot to burn personally. Like that's what I'm thinking. Hey guys, hey Eduardinho, hey Chris. So yeah, I think that's probably why Nketiah is, up there at the moment. He's probably a third strike pick, but people trying to get on him, maybe catch a few price rises, that sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, he did brilliant last week. Like I say, I could see him nabbing something little against Newcastle, but it would be little. I can't imagine he's going to go bonkers like he did last week, although he could prove me wrong. Maybe I'm just saying that so he does again. Lovely to see Douglas Luiz up there. I got him in last game week. Happy to have got the rise out of him this week, and hopefully he can eke out that yellow card until I want to get rid of him, basically. So I'm hoping that'll be the case. In Mbeumo, I sold him last game week. If anyone watched the eye test video at the beginning of the week, you'll know my pain there, friends. You'll know my pain. So yeah, a bit gutted, but not massively so. Like, I'd always planned to sell him that game week. The slight annoyance for me was that I'd always planned to sell him, as you guys will know from these streams. Sorry, just a bit of the camera here. Is that I wanted to get Diaby in for Mbeumo. That was always the plan. But then Diaby kind of dropped off on form, and I was like, I don't really know what to do now. Do I still go for Diaby? So I went for Luiz instead. Helped fund a few other transfers elsewhere. Of course, Diaby went nuts. It's always the way, isn't it? I'm surprised he isn't more highly owned on this list. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Elena. Yeah, a bit gutted, but like I say, also not so gutted because I'd always planned to get rid of him. But I got one of his hauls at least, I guess. But I think you kept him, right? Did you keep him? I think you did. So well done if you did. Tsimikas, obviously I completely understand why people are going for him. He's done very well. Nice cheap price. Robertson out for a long period of time. So, it's good to see him kind of doing his thing. Hey, Nuclear. Hi, buddy. I know it's been so long. Where have you been? Where have you been? And yeah, so then there is He-chan, who I'm a little bit kind of not sure about. So with Neto injured now, I'm a bit sort of, can we do we think that He-chan is going to still continue to do as well without him? I'm not really sure. That's always difficult. Just checking my link is working here actually. Let me check. Let's see if I click on that. Is it? Yeah, cool. So, and then the top transfers out are Isaac, injury, obviously, although I think it's going to be a few weeks, but I don't think it's nowhere near as long as what they thought it was going to be originally, so that's quite interesting. And Udogi, I get that. I'm annoyed. I'm an annoyed Udogi owner. Yeah, I'm gutted he wasn't anywhere near the squad last week. That's just frustrating, isn't it? It's just so annoying. So annoying. Neto, obviously that injury we just chatted about with He-chan. Odegaard doesn't really seem to be getting on the ball as much as he was last season. I don't know whether that's because teams have now figured out how to nullify Arsenal a little bit, that or whether it's the emergence of Rice coming into the team. Maybe it's meant that Odegaard has kind of sat back and become more of a creator. Stupinan, I know that Ben has said that he's not ready this week. So, yeah, they are the top transfers in and out. So, even though we have Nunez time on the front page, he's not technically in the top transfers in, despite doing so well last week. So, this is my team. Would you go for Bowen or Darwin for -4? Need to get rid of JWP. That's tough, because normally I would say keep JWP because of the really tasty fixtures for West Ham, but he hasn't been great, has he? And I'm a form player. I love form, so yeah, I think you could probably get rid of him. Does it have to be for -4 though, Ed? Does it? Yelena, I've not had in this season, trying not to think about how many points I missed out on by originally choosing Eze in Game Week. Yeah, I didn't have Mbemo in Game Week 1 actually. I went for Matoma, so I did get some decent points from Matoma for the first couple, I think, and then, but it wasn't the hauls that Mbemo was getting, so that's why I kind of shifted over. Chelsea was so pathetic on the weekend. I'm raging. Let the trot. Yeah, they weren't great, were they? So I've actually done my transfer, and it was one of the top transfers in. A little bit boring this week. As you guys know, my defense was an absolute mess last week. So I got rid of Botman when I heard the news that he is going to be out for another few months, and I sold him for Simicast. His fixtures after this week get a little bit more difficult, so it's not amazing. I'm not kind of ooh, I've definitely got somebody here. The next 3 game weeks. I mean, this week's okay, but then Brentford and City, Fulham even could be a little bit tough, and then Sheffield United. Then things get a little bit so. It's more that he's a nice cheap price and that there's the potential of some attacking return there, I think, of Simicast. So that's why I went with him. I was a little bit tempted by Soufal. I'm going to put that out there as my kind of punty defender pick. I was a little bit tempted by Soufal instead of Simicast. I really would like not to play Saliba and Burn together if I can. I think there'll be goals in that game. Newcastle are at home, so I'm expecting them to be a lot better defensively. So Yeah, I'd really rather not if I can, but at the same time, if Saliba has to come in, then hopefully he will come in. Hopefully he'll actually start and come in. I would have loved to have rolled a transfer here. I still haven't wildcarded, so still have my wildcard in the bank. I would have loved to have like considered a transfer, like rolled a transfer this week, so that I had 2 next week to kind of focus on getting an Arsenal player in. I have a couple of options on what I can do to potentially get Saka in for next game week. I could do Son to Saka. Obviously, the reason I haven't wildcarded yet is because I haven't really known what to do with Maddison and Son. Obviously, if they happen to do well against Chelsea this week, that'll be a lot tougher a decision for me to decide whether or not to, whether or not to kind of get rid. But if I go to my transfers, I think I only have to find like 0.5 if I would like to do Maddison to Saka. So if Adogi happened to be out again this week for whatever reason, then there's every potential that I could just find somebody completely, even Lascelles, if I wanted to. Who else have we got around that sort of kind of cheapy defender price? Guess I mean Chelsea's fixtures aren't great, are they? So probably not him. Everton. um, Probably Lascelles, maybe Veltman, maybe Charlie Taylor. If I really want to fund Maddison to Saka next game week. So that's a potential. However, I'm also not against if Adogi were to start this week and look good, I'm also not against a -4 next week and maybe taking a bit of a risk up top and going with Nketiah instead of Saka. Now it is risky, I realise. Very risky. But it would potentially like leave me a bit more in midfield to play with. Maybe even, I'm not sure. Where are we? Game week. Yeah, so game week 12, having Matoma in would be pretty tasty. So I could, depending on Bowen or Maddison's performance this week, I could lose Maddison or Bowen for Matoma, and then I could upgrade my third striker spot to Nketiah so that I cover both the Burnley game for Arsenal and the Sheffield United game for Brighton. So that's a potential option. It's a -4, so it's a bit risky, but it gives us 2 really nice fixtures. Obviously I would love to double up on Arsenal. There's a potential for me to wildcard in game week 12 should this game week go absolutely boobies up. If that's the case, then I can just pull out the wild card. But I think I maybe like with Johnson going up last night, Salah going up, like I think I'm only like 3, maybe 4 players away from a wildcard team at the moment, so I'm not really sure game week 12 is the time to pull it out. Yes, it would mean I could go all in on Arsenal for that fixture, but yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because I don't hate my team, so I actually think that game week 14 for me might be a better option now for my wild card if I can last that long. So we get some nice fixtures, some potentially really good fixture swings as well coming in game week 14. So yeah, I think maybe 13, 14 international break time could be the time to wild card for me. I need another look at Bowen. I need another look at Madsen and Son. I need to see if Douglas Luiz is going to get that extra yellow card or not. Yeah, it's just too much up in the air yet not to not to commit. So thank you. Why are there so many less people around this chat? Back in my day, people used to. Yeah, I think it's mainly because there are just way more options now these days, and for a time last year, I kind of stopped streaming. Just did some little bit of video content once a week, I think it was, and so this season I've kind of been back on it a bit more full time. But obviously, just given the sheer amount of competition, unfortunately, I'm small fry. I'm a tiny fish in a very big pond now. So I don't think it's that important. Plus, it's that sort of time of day at the moment, isn't it? I guess where people are maybe still at work, that sort of vibe. And it's half term. So I think normally where, things would be a bit busier coming off of school and stuff like that. There's not so many people around. Elena, I like the Matoma upgrade plan. Thank you. I quite like that as well. Yeah, I think Madsen to Bowen to Matoma. I would like to see how he does this week, obviously, because I was expecting him to have got something last game week and he didn't. So I'm a little shocked by the fact that he didn't get anything last week. But everything I was reading and from the highlights, he was involved in everything. So it sounds like he was a little bit unlucky. So yeah. Or maybe I'll just have to have a chat with Az and see who else might be an option in the Brighton midfield to bring in. The other option, I guess, is maybe going to Ferguson, right, for Archer. That could be the other kind of option. But I think we'd still struggle with of the cheap Arsenal midfielders. I'd have to go Nelly, wouldn't I? Probably for the attack. So would that give me enough for Ferguson? No, he's 6 mil this season. So yeah, I think the other way round is probably better. The only thing is, if Saka were to go massive, like huge, then it would really hurt my rank because he's so highly owned, isn't he? So I think if Saka were to go very big next week, that could be a real kind of punch in the gut. The other option, I guess, would be to move 2 midfielders on. Could I remove both Bowen and Madison for? I doubt it. I highly doubt this is gonna. Ooh. There's the other option for the -4. What do we think of that? What do you think of that, Nympham? That could be the other option. The only thing is, Bowen's fixtures are great. Like, they are brilliant now for like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Like, I am gonna want him back for like these 2 fixtures. So that's what makes it difficult. That's why I was thinking wildcarding around kind of game week 14 might work for me, because it's a definite get off of Bowen. So, but that's another option potentially. 0.4 is so annoying. It's just so annoying. I wish there was like a 4 million forward that I could just have in my team, because I'm not playing Archer at all every week. So yeah, not even moving Johnston to Areola does anything for me, unfortunately. I did bring in Matoma last week, but I didn't see the match. I just heard from Blackbirds that he was playing as wing back. Yeah. That's a good question, Wasim. How much do you have to spend? And we'll have a little look for you. See if we can find you the perfect person. Get through the blank in 18, just wildcard after resolve. Yeah, I mean, it's an option. The only problem is I'll have to hit my way all the way to 18 probably, because I'm not getting a chance at the moment to roll any transfers. Like people who wildcarded a couple of game weeks ago, they're having a chance to roll and roll and roll, which is meaning that not only are they have the same team as me or the kind of same players as me, they are also getting the advantage of not having to hit every week to bring players in. So they're just gaining ground on me. I mean, yeah, granted, 2 more points last week and I would have got Green Arrow, but yeah. Don't go for it. As said, Dezibri doesn't see him in the first team that much. Oh, okay, fair enough. You could do Owani to Nketiah, no -4 then. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I mean, don't necessarily expect much this week, but I love it in prep for the next couple of weeks. Jesus is still out for a length of time, so I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I would do it. If you've got no other fires to put out and you want somebody to play this week and potentially get you something, then I really like it as a pick. Fatty could play as striker, but that's also uncertain since he could sometimes be saved for Europa. He isn't a regular Prem player. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely right. I keep hold of Madsen. Yeah, that's the thing. This is why I haven't wildcarded yet, Ed. It's just that, like, every week I think, oh, I can sell Madsen, or I can sell so-and-so, or I can sell so-and-so. And then they just, they do all right, or they have one game week where they don't do very well. And then they come up trumps. So, right, I can sell Neto 5.6 and have 1.9 in the bank. My midfielders are Son, Salah, Saka, Neto, and Bowen, by the way. So that would be what, 6, 7 something. Okay, Wasim, let's get you a decent player in. That's you can afford some decent peeps there with that money. Do you want like a 1 week punt or a couple of game weeks? What you thinking? Like, you want to go a bit saucy with it? Do you want to have a bit of fun with it? Or do you just want to kind of like, do you want to be safe in the knowledge that you have somebody decent in your team? Let's have a look. What we got for you? What we got? Let's take that. Right, let's go roughly 7, 7-4. Now, do you like Embuemo? I guess he's got Liverpool and Arsenal coming up next, isn't he? Yeah, no, I would steer clear of that. Diaby's back in form. You haven't got any Villa midfielders at the moment. Nottingham Forest up next. 3 game weeks, so that would, if you want a week out 4, that would cover you Forest, Fulham, Spurs, okay. Bournemouth, not bad, not bad. Obviously, if you wanted to go a little cheaper to save some money in the bank, then you could go Douglas Luiz. Just be aware he is on 4 yellow cards, so if he gets the 5th yellow, he will get a 1 game week ban. Jensen's going to be in the same situation as Bremo. Do we like Gordon? I know he's got a tough fixture with Arsenal, but after Arsenal, all of these teams, Bournemouth, Chelsea, United, Everton, they've all been conceding, so he'd be a bit more of a long-term pick. Can you get to can you get to Nelly? Can you get to Martinelli? See, if Matoma didn't play in the right back, was it? Did you guys say? Position last week, then I would be saying Matoma just for the next couple of fixtures. There is the West Ham punt that scored. Got his name. Gonna have to have a look in the cup. Kudos. Bit of a shout. Hasn't really done a whole lot in the. He's had a bit of a mixed time. Actually, yeah, I'm not gonna suggest him just in case. Just in case. Yeah, I hate those ones. The price changes just nuts this season, aren't they? They're like proper insane. Who did you say midfield was? Son, Salah, Saka, Neto, and Bowen. Okay. I'm gonna give you my top picks. I am going to go with. I'm gonna go. You can't. Martinelli's a bit out there. Newcastle's gonna be a tough fixture as well, but then after that, happy days. You don't have to worry about him for a bit. I think my top kind of 3 will be Diaby, Gordon, Mitoma, and then if any of those don't really kind of float your boat, then Palmer. I know he's got tough fixtures, but it will save you a bit of cash because you haven't really got anybody. Fair play to you, you have a lot of money there. You haven't really got anyone kind of quite cheap in your 5th midfielder spot, so you can really afford to go a bit cheap there if you want to, for sure. Or just join me on Douglas Luiz and let's have some fun. If he gets a yellow, then we're in the same boat. I hope that's helped. They're the ones I'd be looking at. Obviously, with Matoma, you're hoping that he goes back to his natural position. Yeah, I think it's tough. Not like I think I definitely missed the wild card boat. Annoyingly, really frustratingly, I think I missed the wild card boat. But yeah, let's get Ben up and have a look at any updates. There hasn't been much on Udogi, has there? I think that they said that they were gonna see how he went. De Silva, Keane, Damsgaard have been running on grass this week. Damsgaard should be part of training next week. Keane's scan was positive, and Manage will start training next week. No timeline for Neto, of course. Won't be available this week or next weekend, and then we'll go into international break and see how he's healing. I don't want to put too much on it. So yeah, he's definitely going to be out for a number of weeks. What else have we got? Paqueta and Alvarez, of course, both suspended because of their like suspension from the cup. So that's gonna be tough. After scoring midweek, Kudos is one of those expected to come in for his 2nd league start. So you wanted to take a 3-week punt on Kudos there, Wissam, then you could. Although bear in mind that both of the players he's coming in for, they only have a 1 game suspension. So Moda Sunday game. Tariq Lamptey is in contention for the trip for Goodison Park on Saturday. The defender has missed the last 4 matches after picking up a muscular injury, and he could slot in at left back with Purvis Stupinan still out. So expect there to be a Lamptey in the starting lineup. Short and sweet from Pep. Kanji is back after his span. De Bruyne is out of contention still. I'm expecting Foden to hurt me this week. That's not what Pep said, obviously, but that's what I'm saying. And then what else have we got? Ooh, Bran is ready to play. He's travelling with the squad. Lindelof, his illness is a wait and see. And that's everything. To be honest, it's quite a quiet week in the old FPL world, isn't it, really? It's a bit on the quiet side. Not a whole lot of stuff's going on. So yeah, I'm pretty locked in unless we get any major kind of news. Obviously, if Udogie doesn't start, I can either play Sleeper or could maybe take a hit this week and just go straight on in and get like a really cheap defender for Udogie. Because if he's going to miss out again and I get word that he's definitely out again, then I don't really think there's much point in holding on to him. I mean, like, how long do I... It's got a couple of tough fixtures there. Get slightly nicer again there, but around here he could be an easy buyback by then, you know. So I think if I hear that he's out, there's every option that I could maybe take the -4 this week and put a bit of cash in the bank just by going really cheap with somebody. Maybe just taking a bit of a random 1 week punt with somebody really cheap. And then it's just a shame. I think the Newcastle are playing Arsenal this week because I think Udogie to Lascelles would be great, and it would give me the money I would need to get Maddison up to Saka next week for a free transfer. So yeah, but I'm pretty locked in. Pretty sure I will captain Haaland. I sold Foden last game week, so I want some like skin in the game with that one for sure. Salah away to Luton is my vice captain. Yeah, I think if Villa were at home, then there'd be a bit more to think about this week. Okay then. Well, as it's quite quiet, guys, I think I will wrap it up there. I know it was quite a short one, but I guess it's just one of those weeks. It's just a quiet week for FPL managers, and there's not many questions. I think I've answered most of them. So if you have enjoyed, please do like and subscribe. Every subscribe helps. I'm really not that far away now from 7k, so anything you can do to help. If you can share this, if you've enjoyed it, that'll also be really helpful. And any 30 seconds watch is classed as a view, and every view really helps. So thank you all so much for coming and being here today. Thanks to my mods as well. Thanks Nuclear, thanks Elaine. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you know, oh hey John, oh thank you. Yeah, no, you can watch it back. Yeah, just watch 30 seconds, that'll all help. But I appreciate it. It will be back next week with some more content. So yeah, I'll also post my team on Twitter if anything happens to change between now and the deadline tomorrow morning. And I hope you guys get lots of green arrows and have the most amazing weekend and lots of fireworks in lots of different ways. FPL ways and fireworks night ways and all sorts. So really appreciate you checking everything out, and I will chat to you soon. Until next time, Nimbria out.